Back here on the Rudis Wrestling Report, talking with Tom Ryan, the head coach of the Ohio State University, and we're going to talk about the three amigos, Kyle Snyder, Bo Jordan, Nate Tomasello, going for their fourth All-American all at the same time. It will be the first time three teammates have ever done that in the same year. A tremendous opportunity. It hasn't happened yet, but it's a tremendous opportunity for all three of these young men and for the program. The first thing I want to ask you about, as I was contemplating this interview, those three names are nowhere near each other in weight classes. Yeah. When you have a wrestling room, oftentimes you've got steel sharpening steel at the same weights where you have workout partners that are there all the way up through. That's not the case with these guys. So what does that say about the litany of characters that have come through that wrestling room over the years to help train these guys to be where they're at? Yeah, no question. I think so obviously you have Nate at 25, the lower weight, you got Bo in the middle at 74, and Kyle at heavyweight. And I have seen them work out with each other, which is interesting. But you know, the quality in the room, the number of good people we have to challenge them is the iron sharpens iron mentality. There was a time when Logan Stieber, sure, right? Logan was in the room, and he will say that there was a time when I was the third or fourth best guy in my weight in the room. It's a four-time national champion. Wow. And some that's just because of the the freestyle side of things that we have there as well. So, these three guys are, as a coach, we all want to win, right? And I think sustained success, right? Sustained success, which is what we all want in life, right? There's three components to it, and talent is certainly a critical component, and all three of those guys are talented. But there's a lot of talented people in the world that don't have sustained success, right? So those three have talent, but then you've got this work ethic component, which all three of theirs is off the charts. And then the piece that gets most of us, or most organizations, is the character piece, right? They're talented, they work incredibly hard, but they choose, you have to make a choice, right? Either discipline or temptation, right? We all make that choice. Which side are you choosing? And all three of these men have chosen, discipline. Right. And so there's no surprise they've had the success that they've had. You obviously can't replace a group like that in the room, but there's going to be a lasting legacy that these three will leave behind. What is that going to be? What do they leave behind after they graduate and move on? Wow. Well, I mean, from a program standpoint, as you pointed out, hopefully, God willing, they stay healthy the next few weeks. They earn their, there's a lot of credentials they'll leave behind, but they have stained the brain of all those that have come in contact with them. They left a mark that this is how you do things. And as much as we love wrestling, as much as Kyle Snyder loves wrestling, and Bo and Nate, these guys love wrestling. They are good men. They are good people. They're people that you want to be around. They're people that, when you're around them, you get better. I've said this often, that they've made me a better coach, right? They've made me a better, I'm 48 now, right? They've made me a better friend, a better parent, they're really special. And the good news is that we won't lose any of them. They'll graduate, but they'll stay involved in the program and continue to make a difference in that room. They were all named captains as freshmen. Right. I remember, it's hard to believe it was 4 years ago, but I remember people thinking freshman is what the heck, right? But they had this it factor that you couldn't ignore despite their age. Let's talk quickly about each of these guys individually. Nate, his last three losses have all come against that black and gold singlet. Can that be a mental thing, regardless of who's wearing it? I think that Nate is 2 seconds away from going for his fourth national title, right? So he was in a position in the semis as a sophomore and a junior. Right. He put himself in position to score the winning points and didn't get it. So, the opponents he's faced have been really, really good. Yes. This isn't like, Nate, how the heck did that happen, right? Those are really good wrestlers and committed people. So, I believe that, Nate had a scare at the beginning of the year with an injury, but I believe that Nate is on track to put himself in position to win his second national title, and hopefully that crowd in Cleveland pushes him over the edge this year. That'd be a hometown crowd for sure. Yeah. Bo Jordan, to me, is an absolute warrior. With all his health issues, with everything he's gone through, being a student athlete, being a family man, how inspirational is he to you in the program? Yeah, he just does things right. I mean, he's raised in the right home, right? He's raised in a home where truth trumps all, and honesty and dignity and all those things that matter have been ingrained in him.
And yeah, he's a warrior that grew up 45 minutes from here, and we're sure glad he stayed home. So.
Kyle Snyder, as we talk about the last of the three, it's such a weird thing. Thinking about that Michigan match, when he lost to Adam Kuhn, it shocked the wrestling world.
Yeah.
So what does it say about the way people view Kyle Snyder, that losing to an absolute mountain of a man who has a lot of credentials and bona fides was unfathomable going in?
Yeah, no, it was another one of those, we talked earlier about these teaching moments, right? And from a team standpoint, it's easy for Kyle, not easy for Kyle, but Kyle is a great leader in the room. He is very vocal this year. He's always been pretty vocal, but more vocal this year about doing things the right way. And when you see him lose, the biggest teaching moment is the way he handles himself, after a loss. And these guys like, wow, Olympic champion, two-time world champion, he's putting everything on the line to come back to college and wrestle at a weight that is really far above the weight he belongs at. He's 225 pounds. He's wrestling a guy that was 315 this summer. So we have weight classes for a reason, right? So, but he's been able to, despite the challenges against him, he's been able to overcome. So, he'd been overseas a couple times, in a short period of time, and we're pretty confident that this challenge for Kyle is just that, another challenge, and he'll find a way come Big Tens and Nationals.
All right, when we come back on the other side of these words, the cupboard certainly isn't bare, but we'll talk about how Tom Ryan wants to restock it going forward. This is the Rudis Wrestling Report on Spectrum Sports.